All right, I've got Wade and Susan here, and they are going to help me document the year 2016, which was not a good year for me. Starting just after the first of the year, I was unable to stand up, and so we had to get some help to get me up and get me to the hospital. And I spent a week in the ICU up at LDS Hospital. They said I had pneumonia and AFib problems and low blood sugar. And so I was in the ICU for a week, and then I spent a week in the hospital. From there we went to an assisted living, or a nursing center to try and get my strength back. And I was there until the end of January. Then I was on home therapy for a month or two, for February and March. And things were going okay. I thought things were going really well. And then just around the 1st of April, I woke up to get ready for dialysis on the first Monday in April, and I could not stand up using my right leg. And I slowly made my way over to my chair and pushed my emergency alert button, and Mom and Dad came downstairs and yelled, "What's the matter?" And I told them I can't stand. So they got Verdi to come over and help me get upstairs and out to our car. And we went to the hospital again. And we spent another week in the hospital, and then I went back to Alpine. And 2 weeks later, somebody found me unconscious and unresponsive. And so I went back to the hospital again. And as they were taking me out, I looked, and there was my home teachers from the Grandview ward, just watching them take me out, and they followed me out to the elevator. And I was in the hospital for a week then. And I had a hard time standing and walking at that time, so my parents took me to the Spring Creek Care and Nursing Center, or Therapy and Nursing Center, where I spent 10 months of my life. And the first week I was there, they came in and found me again unresponsive and unconscious. And again I had low blood sugar, pneumonia, and the other problems, the anemia and the AFib problems. And at that time, I was in the waiting room, in the emergency room, and Mom and Dad and all my family came in, and my brothers and sisters and their spouses. They all came in. And at that time I said, "Guys, it's time for me to go." And after a little bit, Dad gave me a priesthood blessing, just releasing me into the hands of our Heavenly Father. And one of the nurses went out and brought me out one of their big cups of Dr. Pepper, because I wanted that. I hadn't had that for a while. And everybody thought that was funny, so they took a picture of it. But after that, we had a family prayer, and they started to take me to the elevator to go up to my room. And somewhere in between the elevator and my room, I went into a coma for 2 days. And when I came to, Jeff was sleeping in my room, and I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "You've been in a coma for 2 days." And I said, "I what?" And he says, "Yeah, you've been in a coma for 2 days." And at that time, after a weekend there, I was so weak I could not do anything. I couldn't stand up, couldn't walk, couldn't use my walker at all. And so we went back to Spring Creek and started working with the therapists and the nurses and people there. And the nurses and people there, and the therapy people, are fantastic. I have made friends with an awful lot of them. The therapists I have seen perform miracles. I won't go into it, but I have seen them perform miracles. And I'm so grateful for them. They were good to me because they couldn't work with me after July because of insurance problems. But if I wanted to go back and use the machine and it was open, they would let me get on it. And I could pretty much do my workout wherever I wanted or any time I wanted. And so they were really good to me. And I loved the people there. I was going up and down the hall, just introduced myself to everybody. And I asked them if they were members of the church, and they said yes. I told them when sacrament meeting was, and if they said no, or if they said yes, but I'm not really active, and I said that's not a problem. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome to come join us. We don't turn you away. We had a small group there, and the group leader was a man by the name of Mike Root, and he had two other helpers, Richard Frost and Andy Erickson. And I grew to love them and the people that came to church with us. There was an awful lot of experiences at Spring Creek, which I won't take time to go through. But I became very good friends with all the nurses and the therapists and the CNAs there at Spring Creek. But one very special nurse that I really did fall in love with, and she knows who she is. I won't, and I think everybody else does too. But I've also, since May 1st, we moved here to Cottonwood Creek to let me gain a little bit more independence and also help me get stronger. And I love the people here at Cottonwood Creek. The staff and the nurses and the care people. It's different because I have to call for the care people here to get them to come help me. And at Spring Creek, there was pretty much people there whenever you needed them. And also we've developed a little problem with the blood sugar since towards the last of Spring Creek, because they give me like 1-2 units of insulin if my blood sugar was 150 or 160, and within an hour it had dropped to 37 or 40. So right now we are not taking any insulin. The doctor took me off of that about the 1st of April. So and that problem has really pretty much been solved. But again, I am grateful for everybody that supported me this past year, especially my parents who have been with me every night, and Jeff, who has really been the one who has supported, who worked with me the financial problems and the getting me on Medicaid, and a couple of the people at Spring Creek helped him, and they helped me with the assisted living process, getting into the Cottonwood Creek Center. And so I'm grateful for all my family for what they have done for me. And one thing I have learned through all this is that our Heavenly Father knows us, He loves us, He knows what's best for us, and that has become what's important to me, is doing what He wants me to do instead of what I want to do. I know that I can recognize His hand in the fact that I'm still here. And I'm grateful that I'm still here, as is my family. And that is pretty much all that I wanted to say.